Welcome back to the podcast, everybody, and welcome to a series that has been 20 years in the making. I am titling this series the Jester Section Hiker Playbook. The playbook is 7 logical steps toward completing your favorite long-distance trail as a section hiker. Over the last 20 years, I have learned what works when it comes to setting your section hiking goals, logistics, training, gear, nutrition, having fun, and as they say in the hiking world, hike your own hike. Over the next 7 days, I will be releasing this series of episodes focusing on each one of the steps in individual shows. Let's get right to step number 4, which is gear. All right, y'all, we are back for step number 4, which is all about gear. And now the first thing I want to say is gear is tough because you have to have it. But what type of gear you have is up to you. So within step 4, I've got 6 key points. So let's get to it. The first point is it's all personal preference. The second point is shoes and socks. The third point is your backpack. The fourth point is carry the 10 essentials. The fifth point is watch safe and found. And the sixth point is the Appalachian Trail backpacking series. So let's get to key point number 1. It's all personal preference. And under this point, I want to say over the last 20 years, I have seen it all, from tags still on everything when people go out on the trail, to people having Walmart gear, to the super duper ultra light. I have spent my life savings on gear individual. So when you're out on trail, you will see from one extreme to the other. You will also hear people that are really into gear, your gear geeks that are out there. When you first meet them on trail, it is all about their gear, and they are proud to show you what they've bought and why it works for them. And then you'll also meet people that have gear and they never talk about it because it's just not that big of a deal. They have figured out what works for them and they just move on from it and literally enjoy the hiking. And I kind of put myself in that latter camp. Over the years, I have watched hundreds of YouTube videos on gear. I've bought tons and tons of gear that really worked out for me, gear that did not work out for me, and I ended up reselling it out there on the Facebook marketplace pages. And then over the years, I've just really honed in on what works for me. Now, I will be the first to say that I like to look at new gear that's coming out. I like to see all the new features. I like to see what companies have going on each year. But that does not mean that I need to purchase that bright, shiny, new gear to be successful. So the first key point is it's all personal preference. Gear is fun. We all love it. Soak in all the knowledge you can and then figure out what works for you. But I will say over these next couple of key points, starting with number 2 are shoes and socks. Now, I'm not going to tell you what type of shoe to wear and all that fun stuff that comes with it. I am going to tell you that if you want to be successful, in my personal opinion, the very first thing you need to figure out when it comes to gear are your shoes and socks. Whether you're going to wear trail runners, whether you're going to wear boots, what works for your foot and your hiking style. That is what I'm going to tell you, because along with your shoe comes your sock. What type of sock are you going to wear? Do you like a wool sock? Do you like a polyester sock? Do you like a toe sock? I love the Injinji socks. They work for me. Sometimes I take my shoes off and people are like, what the heck do you have on? It's just something that works for me. I like my toes to be separated. I like a really, really, really very thin sock. So the Injinji toe socks work for me. And the trail runners that work for me right now, I am wearing the Topo Pursuit 2s. And they've been working for me for well over a couple years now. I wore them all last summer. I plan to wear them this summer. But that doesn't necessarily mean that is what is going to work for you. My recommendation is don't do what I did in the very beginning. Buy 100 shoes on Amazon, try them all, and send them all back because that did not work. The time that I got properly fitted 4x-Trail shoes is when I actually made a purposeful trip to Outdoor 76 in Franklin, North Carolina. Those guys have got it going on when it comes to shoe fittings, allowing you to try on different shoes, different philosophies on why your shoe size is a certain way that it is, and how that shoe will work and perform for your body and your foot type. So I leave all the logistics and all the fancy stuff with getting your shoes to the guys at Outdoor 76 in Franklin, North Carolina. My recommendation is no matter where you are, you find some type of specialty shoe store, and that could be a running store as well, because they also sell trail runners, and sometimes running stores sell boots as well. So you'll have to look at that in your particular area. But my recommendation is find the set of shoes and socks that work for you. Go to a specialty running store and get fitted. Let them measure your feet. Let them take a look and see. Tell them all about the activity you're going to do and get properly fitted, because I am here to tell you from someone who has had many foot injuries and 3 surgeries on my right foot because I did not wear proper shoes and many other things, but I am convinced not wearing proper shoes and socks led to that eventual injury. So, shoes and socks. If you don't have your feet, you're not hiking anywhere. All right, let's move on to point number 3, your backpack. So, if you've got your shoes figured out and your socks figured out, and you're comfortable and you're not getting blisters and everything's working for you, the next thing that you've got to work on is your backpack. So not only can your feet end your section hike, but your backpack can as well. So if that backpack is not properly fitted to your torso, not your height, not how small or big you are, not the width of your body, but your torso. So again, along with point number 2, shoes and socks, I also suggest in point number 3, getting fitted for your backpack. I had a good old Gregory backpack that I used for many, many years until I went and got properly fitted for my current ULA backpack that I use. And I was fitted at Mountain Crossings, which is right on the AT, about 30 miles north from the southern terminus of the AT in Georgia. Now, Mountain Crossings, they've got it going on. When you go in there, you tell them, hey, I want to get fitted for a backpack. They've got different styles. They've got different brands. They will measure you. They will load that pack up with weight and see how that feels on your back. The day I went to Mountain Crossings to get a new backpack, I went there specifically. I was probably there 2 or 3 hours getting properly fitted and talking to the salesperson there or the customer service person there about my specific style of hiking and what I wanted to do. And it just so happened that the ULA pack properly fit my body. So my pack size was fitted, and then the ULA packs have waist belts that you could take off. So the waist belt that actually came on the pack was too small for me. So I was upfitted with a different waist belt, and that pack allowed me to do that. So again, it is all key point number 1, personal preference, but I do recommend, and I can't emphasize this enough, to go and get properly fitted to take care of your feet, and to take care of your back. Now, moving on to key point number 4, once you get all this stuff done, the gear that I recommend that you take with you no matter what, no matter if you're day packing, slack packing, backpacking, platinum blazing, I highly suggest that you carry the 10 essentials. You all know that I am highly into people being safe on the trail. At the end of every episode, I end it with be safe out there because I want everybody to be safe on trail. And the 10 essentials are going to help you do this regardless every single time. So when you're thinking about the 10 essentials, you need to ask yourself 2 questions. 1, can I prevent emergencies and respond positively if one should occur? So am I self-sufficient on the trail? And number 2, can you safely spend 1 night or more outside of the trail? So once you answer those 2 questions, and by the way, those 2 questions come from the Mountaineers, and I will leave that website in the description below of this episode, and some action steps that I came up with carrying the 10 essentials are prepare, practice, and promote. So preparing is carrying the 10 essentials on every hike. Practice is knowing how to use the 10 essentials that you have in your pack before you go out on that hike. And then promoting is promoting safety in the backcountry. Share how being prepared could save your life. Answer those 2 questions, and then are you prepared? Do you have knowledge of the 10 essentials? Can you practice and utilize those items? And then promote being safe on the trail. So before I move on to our next point, I do want to go over what the 10 essentials are. And now it's more of 10 essential systems. So I'm just going to break these down. You all, I have videos on my YouTube channel. I have an entire pack shakedown on my regular backpack, and then I have a pack shakedown on my day pack, my pack that I carry on all my day hikes, and then my pack that I carry when I go overnight. You can see those on my YouTube channel. I literally just fling stuff out of my pack and show you what I have in there. But these are the official 10 essentials by the Mountaineers: navigation, headlamp, sun protection, first aid, knife, fire, shelter, extra water, extra food, and extra clothes. And I will add to that a battery backup. So all of us now, we have a lot of technology on the trail. And one of the things that you want to do, all of us are at this point, we're going to have a phone. We're going to have apps that we are running off of our phone. And the best thing you can do now, and I just consider this part of my 10 essentials, is carrying a battery backup. I have 2 battery backups depending on what kind of hiking I'm doing. Typically, if I'm going out for a day hike, I will carry my Anchor 10,000 milliamp. And if I'm going on a long backpacking trip, I've got an Anchor, ANKER 20,000 milliamp battery backup system. So I do recommend adding some type of way that you could add charge to your phone. And as always, I also think you should carry, and this goes under navigation, some type of emergency system, whether that is a Spot, whether that is a Garmin InReach. There's many of these things out there. So do your research about the 10 essentials. And I care about this so much that individuals be safe on the trail. That point number 5, I put watch, safe, and found. So I care about this so much that my business partner and I, we actually made a film. And the film is based around the Haywood County Search and Rescue Team based out of Haywood County, North Carolina. And within this film, we give you 3 different scenarios of what could happen out on the trail with 3 of the individuals that things actually happened to. So my 5th point, I highly recommend, and I care about this so much, that you go over and watch Safe and Found. And then the last point, my sixth point within this step of gear, I also recommend, I've got 17 episodes, if you could believe that or not, back in 2022, along with the Hiking Radio Network, we made an Appalachian Trail backpacking series that goes right in with this step number 4 with gear, because we go over water, we go over fire. We actually have pack shakedowns from some of the participants that came with us that weekend. We were actually at Woods Hole Hostel. They open their packs. We look at all their gear. We give them recommendations. And there's also participant testimonials within that 17 episodes series. So, y'all, I'm so passionate about getting gear right. And I want to go back and emphasize again that gear is tough because you have to have it, but what type of gear you carry is up to you. So with all of that being said, it's all personal preference. Take a strong initiative on your socks and shoes. Take a strong initiative on your backpack. Always carry the 10 essentials. Go watch Safe and Found. Check out my Appalachian Trail backpacking series that we did back in 2022 that has all that vital information as well. So, y'all, as I close out this episode, just a reminder, the Jester Section Hiker Playbook is all about having fun in the process of achieving your goals of completing a long-distance trail as a section hiker. Section hiking is an ongoing process of learning, adapting, and achieving. And everything I mentioned today, links will be down in the description of this episode. Go down, check out those links, check out all the resources, and that will help you plan your next section hike. So y'all, thanks for listening. Be safe out there and happy section hiking.